Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chronicle, where I have, hold on, a peanut butter and jelly tortilla. So I talked about this last week. The goal for this week was to make one of these, a peanut butter and jelly tortilla, which is, if you don't know, a tortilla with half of it is jelly and half of it is peanut butter on the inside, and then you fold it, and then you make a peanut butter and jelly tortilla, which is essentially kind of like a peanut butter and jelly quesadilla. But one thing I wondered is if I heated this up, would it be good? Not in the microwave, I think, because I tried microwaving a Lunchable, not a Lunchable, an Uncrustable, and it was awful. It dried out. It was hard. It was pretty much inedible. I did taste it for science. It was awful though. So I don't think microwaving this would be a good way to heat it up. But like pan frying the peanut butter and jelly tortilla to make it a peanut butter and jelly quesadilla, would that be good? Because like the jelly would be warm, and warm jelly doesn't sound like the most pleasant thing to have in your mouth. And also the peanut butter would be warm, and then I guess the tortilla would get a little crispy. Maybe I'll try that for science. You know what? Yeah, I'll next week I'll do a part two where I'll pan fry this. I guess I have to try this now. That's why I brought it. I brought it to the camera. So here we go. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Is the mic picking up the chewing? Because I see it activating. All right. So interesting little thing about that. It's not the worst actually. But as I bit into it, I was reminded that normally with the peanut butter and jelly, all three elements mix into one in your mouth. With this, they don't. The peanut butter and jelly mix, but the tortilla is kind of like it kind of just like somehow the peanut butter and jelly they slip off the tortilla. So like in your mouth when you're chewing, the tortilla is not really mixing with the other two elements. Oh yeah, speaking of the peanut butter and jelly, have you guys ever refrigerated a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? It makes it taste like an Uncrustable, and it's kind of good. Anyway, the peanut butter and jelly tortilla, I'm gonna give it uh um 6, 7, 7. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Uh, childhood neglect out of 10. I actually texted my siblings group chat, and I was like, guys, did mom not go grocery shopping because she couldn't afford to, or because we were neglected? I got 2 votes saying we were neglected. The other two didn't respond, which makes sense honestly. So yeah, the peanut butter and jelly tortillas, we made those. We made those at mom's house when we ran out of bread. Um, and that's why I wanted to make one today. Yeah, so that's that goal checked off. I will pan fry that next week. I think for sure because I bought an 8 pack of tortillas. That was like the smallest quantity I could find. But continuing with the goals, guitar and piano catch up. I didn't do. That's I I don't want to say it's to be expected, but like at this point it is. It's not even that hard. I just don't get around to it. I have actually been practicing my instruments like I should be. I am. I actually did get 4 this week, and I think 4 last week as well on both instruments. Um, yeah, or maybe technically not last week because last week for practices was this week because those reset on Thursday. Anyway, yeah. So guitar and piano catch up I didn't do. Whoops. The handstand I didn't do because my workout was like yard work. Oh yeah, speaking of the workout goal, I'm pausing it. I'm freezing it because that goal was to find another calisthenic workout program to do regularly. But my new workout program that I'm going to be doing regularly is helping my dad with yard work. It is pretty hard. I did it today and Friday and not Wednesday because he was busy. And wait, or was that last Wednesday? And Monday as well. The liked playlist I need to do a still, and then the resin goal. It should be done next week because my coworker was like, "Hey, I'm gonna start it." I didn't get it this week. I guess I'll get it next week. Um, and then yeah, those are all the goals. Um, I need to make more goals. Speaking of goals, the main goal, primary objective, as I like to call it. Um, I don't know where I'm at with that. I think my application is still awaiting review, and I think it might be because I need to audition, but it might be because I need to submit a portfolio. because I got an email and it was like, update, blah, 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 the conservatory is different, yada, yada. And I don't know, what, what are they expecting me, not necessarily what are they expecting of me, but, what are they expecting me to, want or do? Because, audition, why am I auditioning, right? Because, was it, my friend was talking about this. She was like, something, something with car college, they expect you to go in knowing everything about cars. And I was like, I think that's not how that works, because, the point of school is to teach you. So it's like, why would you go to a place where you're supposed to learn things if you already know the things that you're learning? So, why am I auditioning to go to the school? And, I know it's not the most far-fetched idea, and it makes sense, but, what am I auditioning for? Right? I'm going there to learn. What is the audition for? I think it's more of an evaluation and an assessment. Um, I'm not gunning for any top position. Oh, goodness gracious, don't know what happened to my voice there. I'm not I'm not going in trying to be a hot shot and be impress anyone. I'm just trying to get my degree in music so that I can hopefully be a session musician. Um, all that to say, I need to put the goal of music or main objective back up there, because I need to do that portfolio thing, which I was thinking, I was like, I could probably just make a couple songs in a digital audio workspace, a DAW is what they're called, abbreviated to, and then submit those. I think those are going to be due in December, when we're on October, so I've got plenty of time. I don't have the tools though. You see that piano back there? I think that works for MIDI, musical instrument digitally inputted, I think is what that stands for. Which means I think I can use it for making songs. I was like, okay, if I buy a Mac and whatever I need to connect that, I was right the first time, that to the Mac, I can then use GarageBand to, make songs or a song. I technically have a couple already, but like I said, I don't attribute those to myself really, because they're not good and they're not really me, is how I feel about that. Is my light at the right angle? Anyway, yeah, so I think my plan is I'm gonna buy a Mac, a little laptop, and I'm gonna buy some. I think I have this microphone, which I think will work for audio, and then I have that. Preferably, I would have a bigger one. I don't know if I want to drop a few, probably several hundred more dollars on a full size one, if I could get away with using that. Yeah. So then I need to buy a Mac, and then there's this interface thing. I can't remember what it's called, but it's it'll enable that thing to work in the program with the computer. Um, so yeah, I think that's the plan. The thing is that plan costs a lot of money. I think a Mac is $1,000, at least. I could get one on Facebook Marketplace, but I like my stuff new. I don't want a secondhand MacBook, and yeah. Yeah, so I think I got to recommit to the main objective, or just make more little ones. I still need to cook more things. I just don't really have the tools, honestly. I don't have a pan for if I wanted to make lasagna. I don't have a lasagna pan. How am I supposed to make lasagna without a lasagna pan? But that's just one thing. I think those are all the goals. Yeah, the only one I can think of that I would want to make right now is the music slash main objective one that I need to do. So let's get into the journal. I'm gonna try and keep this 20 minutes. Don't bet on that, but I'm gonna try. Monday. Oh, actually, big news, big announcement. I should have led with this. I will now be giving my friends nicknames. That way you can follow stories better. I thought about this and I was like, because I've talked about it. I think I did 2 weeks ago. But the long story short is it's really hard to follow stories when I just say friend. I refer to everyone as friend, and if everyone is friend and there's multiple friends in the same story, then it's which friend are you talking about? And then it gets very confusing. So they will all have fake names or nicknames. Some are they're not. There's not necessarily a logic to them at this point. Because I had a couple logics before. I was like, oh, fake name, that sounds like a fake name close to the real name, or real name that's fake and sounds like the real name. Now it's just whatever. I'm just gonna call them whatever. And that's the logic, is I'm just calling my friends whatever. But yes, my friends will now have names that you can have. Anyway, so going to the journal, you might see people's names appear. Names. Today after work, I went straight to my dad's house and helped with yard work for a workout today. It was fun, and it's always nice to talk to my dad while I'm there. I also got a fourth piano practice in, and I got leftover brisket, which was really good. I did do all my dailies today, even if I'm up late doing them. And then the quote is, "It's a miracle that I can enjoy such a thing." That's actually referring to apples. And holy crap, I need to breathe. Um, oh yeah, speaking of dailies, it's got an X on it for this week because I didn't do all of them every single day. Uh, I was doing really good until Friday. I got all of them Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. We'll get to why I didn't on Friday. But unfortunately, that's got an X on it because I didn't do them all. Yeah. So the quote at the end: "It's a miracle I can enjoy such a thing at all." I am. I talked about this. I am taking one bite out of an apple every day to hopefully get rid of my apple allergy. I'm also eating a spoonful of honey every day because I think I've heard that that can help with the pollen allergies, which is where my allergy stems from. Um, and I think I specifically bought, I went to the store, it was like 11 bucks. It was way too expensive, but it was like local Midwestern honey. I was like, that's great because that's where I live, meaning that's, the bees are going to be using all that pollen, meaning if I eat that, I can become not allergic to apples. That's the thought process. Yeah, I think, was this Monday the start of when I did the yard work? Or no, I think it was like the Saturday before that, right? Yeah, because I think I talked about it last week. Straight tour after I came home. Magic spoon. Home came yard work. Yeah, I did Saturday. Anyway, that's about all for Monday. Yep, talked to my dad, did my dailies. Yeah. Um, Tuesday. When was that one written? That one was written at 11:30 p.m. Tuesday. Today after work, I went rock climbing with my coworkers, and it was a lot of fun. That was about all I did other than my dailies. We were there for hours. The quote was going to be scheduled time with no one this week because I think I've talked about scheduled time before with my friends. I have a very loose obligation with a couple friends to where we meet up and hang out once a week. The thing is, the first friend that I have that with, what's her nickname? Her nickname is Penguin. Um, don't ask why. It's an inside joke. Her name is Penguin, and she is busy all the time. And also, she's the friend. I've talked about her, I know, multiple times in previous episodes, but she's the friend where something happened in her life. I don't know what it is, and she's not comfortable telling me. So now we're not quite as close as we used to be. And she's also busy, like literally all the time. But we have scheduled time to get, or at least we agreed to, I guess. But we just don't because she's busy. And then I have another friend that I do scheduled time with who plays Splatoon. She is out of town this week. Her nickname is Pouty, which I'm thinking about changing because I don't think she'll like that. But like her only other nickname would be like Doodles or maybe Squid because in Splatoon you play as Squid Kids. But her brother's nickname would be Rowdy. So then they have Rowdy and Pouty. So they're like little fun little duo nicknames. That could be cool. I forgot. I was going to go down the list of all my friends' nicknames. I'll do that at the end of the journal entries. Yeah, so I was going to write scheduled time with no one, and then I scratched it out, and then I wrote Rare W in the Deodorant Saga. The Deodorant Saga, long-lasting thing, that I won't be going in depth about, and I won't be explaining today, because I'm pretty sure everyone knows about it at this point. But I'm going to pick it up right here. Actually, no. I'm not going to pick it up. Well, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'll pick it up anyway. This spray on Dove Men Plus Care 72-hour antiperspirant. It's not 72 hours. That's a lie. I didn't test that thoroughly. I just knew because I woke up the next day and I was like, or I can tell like it'll wear off in one day. Is what I'm trying to say. If I sweat a lot, it'll wear off in one day. So that's a lie. But it works. It works really well. It is. If I put on too much, my armpits will get like really dry and hot because of course they're not sweating because it's antiperspirant, and that can be a little uncomfortable. But I figured out I don't need to use that much. I can kind of just like psh, 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 and it's great. And that is a very rare W in the deodorant saga. It has been. I've tried. I think I've thrown away like 3 just sticks of deodorant at this point, or no, I think 3 and another stick of antiperspirant, or maybe 4 sticks of deodorant. Point is, I've thrown away a lot of deodorant because I've tried it and it broke out my skin. So I finally found another deodorant that works, and it's not like $15. Like I think the sensitive stuff, I think that's $13 a stick, but the can that I just showed you is 10 bucks for a can, and I assume it'll last long. So I'm looking forward to using that. Wednesday, or anything else on Tuesday? No, not really. Oh yeah, I went rock climbing. It was a lot of fun. Wednesday, I'm writing this earlier than usual to try and get some extra sleep, but we'll see how that goes. I was going to help Dad with more yard work today, but he was busy with work, so I spent the rest of the day at home, and I scheduled an apartment tour for this Friday, so I'm really excited for that. And then, yeah, that's Wednesday. Is that really Wednesday? Yeah. Um, yeah, that's about it. I think I was gonna work on my guitar, and then I just didn't. I kind of got really tired. Um, and I think that's all that happened on Wednesday. I really feel like there should be more, but there's just not. Thursday, not much today. I had lessons after work and then did my dailies and took a couple shots of kava. Why did I do that on a Thursday? Oh, I remember now. I also got another tour for an apartment, but I actually like the first one more, so hopefully Ink, which is one of my friend's nicknames, gets to see it tomorrow. Oh, wait, I can't have Ink and Squid as nicknames, because then you would think those two are associated, but they're not. Or maybe I'm just making that up in my head. Yeah, so hopefully Ink gets to see it tomorrow. And then the quote is, "The Bible is enthralling." Let me start from the top here. Yeah, I took a couple shots of kava because Helldivers, the game that I love so much, um, really bad right now. The community is in kind of a bad spot, and the game itself is in a bad spot, and the developers are not doing. It's not that they're not doing well; it's that they're not doing much like to make it better. And like I know that it's like it's very nuanced, and like there's some common sense things like they can't just fix their game immediately, blah blah blah. But like the TLDR on that is the game barely works for most of the people that play it because it's just they've added so every time they add stuff to the game they kind of break things because the game engine is like really bad and they made it themselves and it kind of sucks. They also use an anti-cheat that really 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 sucks and it's killing people's PCs. And I'm not going to talk about that any longer because I'll go on forever. But I saw a streamer. He was talking about the situation of the game, and he had a drink on stream, and I was like, all right, I'll take a drink too. It wasn't alcohol, though, it was kava. Big difference. I got another apartment tour on Tuesday, but yeah, like I said, I really, really, really like the one that I already saw, which I'll talk about later in the journal. And I would rather go to that one, but I have another tour on Tuesday, which I'll probably just go to anyway, just because. And then hopefully my future roommate, Ink, likes it. And the quote, "The Bible is enthralling." I finally got to the birth of Jesus Christ in the Action Bible. Let me show you the cover. I don't know if I have ever pulled it up before. This is the Action Bible. It's the Bible, but it's a comic book. And I finally got to the birth of Jesus, and now things are getting really entertaining. And that's where that quote comes from. Friday. After work today, I took a tour of the apartment with Ink, and I actually really like the place, and I think she does too. I think. She didn't seem super enthusiastic about it, but I think she definitely liked it for sure. After that, I helped my dad with more yard work and had more leftover brisket and got my new bed frame. After that, Herculean task, I got online and played with, what's his nickname? Parkour. That's his nickname. But we played for so long that I ran out of time for my dailies. This was written at 2:07 a.m. The quote is, "I used an actual pickaxe today. It was nothing like Minecraft, but still very fun." Yeah, so I took a tour of the apartment. I really, actually really like it. And I think Ink does too. I already actually applied for the place. Yeah, I don't think that's like 100% committing to it, but I did apply to it. Um, yeah, one thing I couldn't decide between was a renovated versus an unrenovated unit. I applied for an unrenovated because there's no renovated available, but I think they're going to be available later. But the renovated unit is like $100 more per month for rent, and like for the things we get granite countertops, more hardwood floor, and stainless steel appliances with the renovated unit, which is really nice. I actually really liked those renovations, but they're like $100 more per month for the rent. I want to say they're worth it. I'm very tempted to go and try and get a renovated unit if one opens up. But like I said, I low key need that $100. Like the difference between $600 and $700 for rent is kind of a lot in my situation. I might I probably might have to just drop electric guitar lessons. Either that, or I'll just have to work more, like pretty much every day, to make that extra 100 up. And then especially during the school year, which I will hopefully be doing next year, that's money's gonna get tight. Now I do actually have plenty of money. Like I said, I was talking about buying a Mac. I have a lot saved up, and like I ran the numbers, I'll still have a decent amount even after college, assuming my financial aid is good for year two of that. For year one, it's good. For year two, we're gonna find out. Um, but yeah, so I'm trying to decide between the renovated and unrenovated. I'm honestly, I want to say renovated because it's so nice. Those hardwood floors and those granite countertops, they're so nice. Like if you could have seen them, because like think it was the other option for the unrenovated is laminate countertops. Though nasty, gross, disgusting, ugly. Versus granite? Are you kidding me? The carpet versus hardwood, not a huge deal, but the hardwood is nice. The stainless steel versus not stainless steel, again, that's kind of a big difference. The stainless steel fridge, the appliances, dishwasher, those were pretty nice. Anyway, played online, played with Parkour, is his nickname. The Herculean task of getting my bed frame, because it was like really heavy. It was like this huge tall box. I had my dad help me put it in my car because I ordered it to his house because I was like, there's no way I'm going to make the poor delivery person carry that heavy ass bed frame all the way up like 2 flights of stairs to my apartment. So I was like, okay, I'll order it to my dad's house and pick it up myself. Um, and then yeah, I helped my dad with yard work, and I did use an actual pickaxe. Nothing like Minecraft. I was just digging dirt with it mostly, which is not what you're supposed to do in Minecraft. But this ain't Minecraft. But yeah, it was fun. I like I like using the pickaxe. Saturday, I had some kava to help me sleep, so it's a little hard to recall today's events. Anyway, I had more protein cereal for breakfast. It's still mid. I also had some mushroom coffee afterward. I don't know if I'll be able to finish the whole tin though, because I think it low-key gives me a headache and makes me tweak out. But it might just be the creamer. I'll have to test it. I also helped, what's their nickname? Beer. My friend Beer. I helped them gift shop for Leper. I might change that nickname too, because I don't think he'll like it, but I think it's really funny. He does not have leprosy, but his nickname is Leper for now. And we celebrated my brother's birthday at Dad's house. Those two things are unrelated. It was a family birthday that my brother, and then gift shop for another friend. The quote is, "I got blacklisted," because yes, Leper blacklisted me from his birthday. It has nothing to do with the nickname. I guess I'm just like, I'm guessing I'm like a C tier friend, on his friends tier list, because I know he's having a party. Matter of fact, I think he's having the party right now as I'm recording this, and I think Beer is there too. They're probably like getting lit and having a sleepover. Um, but like it's not a big deal. Um, yeah, that was Saturday. Kava just for fun. Today's events. Protein cereal. I had a lot of protein cereal today. I'm actually filled up on it for breakfast, which I didn't think was possible because like cereal is so like non-substantial. But I actually filled up on protein cereal. But that was today. Saturday. Oh yeah, the mushroom coffee. Um, I ordered mushroom coffee a while ago, the Mudwater brand, which I had seen years ago, and I was like, mushroom coffee. I didn't know that was possible. That sounds really cool. It's gross. It tastes bad, kind of like dirt. I've never actually tasted dirt, I think, but I can imagine what just scooping up a handful of dirt and putting it in my mouth is like, and I think that's what mud water tastes like. I do use a very artificial and very sweet creamer, and I think those two just don't mix very well, and they kind of give me a headache. And like I said, make me tweak out. So I don't know if I'll finish that tin. Yep, helped Beer gift shop for Leper. And then I think that was about it. Yeah, and then went home, and then I went to Dad's house to celebrate younger brother's birthday. And that was yesterday. Today, let me close this. Oh boy, what happened today? Today I woke up at 8, but I was like really, I don't think I was tired. I think I just didn't want to be awake at 8. Um, yeah, I don't know. My brain is very conflicted. When I was barely conscious at 8 in the morning, I was like, get up, start your day. And then part of me was like, no, I don't want to. Because like sometimes I just don't want to like exist. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm sleeping, I'm not existing. So I did end up going to sleep for another 2 hours. I woke up at 10:30 a.m., which was just in time to leave for church. Of course, I got to church late because I had to get ready. Church was fine. I did that thing where I tried to sit far away from everyone else, in a different spot than last time. But turns out that the spot that I chose this time was the spot where the band members for the worship team gather when they're not, doing the worship team thing, the music. I didn't know that. That was a fun little surprise, I guess. It was pretty chill. They didn't talk to me a whole lot. But I think next time I'll go up sit on that couch again that's like farther away. That way no one talks to me. Because I don't go to church to talk to people. And it's more enjoyable when I don't talk to people. I will still be going to church, and I will still not be talking to people. I did do a little more drawing. Nothing that great, really. I wanted to draw more, but I wasn't really inspired, and I didn't feel like YouTubing drawing lessons in the middle of church in that little part, especially when there was like other people around. Um, then after that, I was gonna go grocery shopping, but then for some reason the apartment application took like way too long that I did today. Um, and then I ended up, after that a whole apartment application, I went to dad's to help with the yard work more and did that for several hours. I think it was, we were out there, I think it was, yeah, 3.5, maybe 4 hours. Yeah, I think it was 3.5 that we were doing yard work. I dug more dirt with a pickaxe, I shoveled it, dumped it, raked it, took off a fence panel, uh, put on the army boots because my Frankencons were like the worst. I need to throw those away probably. They broke even more today during the yard work. And then after that, I practiced piano, and now I'm here. And I should have practiced electric guitar, but I can still get 4 in if I practice the day of lessons, so that's fine. Like I said, didn't do my dailies this week because I got 4. I got like more than halfway there. I only had to get 3 more. But then I missed them on Friday because I was playing with parkour um, online. And now we're here. I also bought new laces for my shoes, my work shoes. Remember how I talked about the laces were too short? Got longer laces. I might have laced them up too loose, but I guess we'll see tomorrow at work. What else? I think that was about everything. And then I made the peanut butter and jelly tortilla, which is right here, just off camera. Um, oh yeah, I guess I have to eat that, huh? Yeah, and now we're here. I only went about 10 minutes over. Yippee! Now I gotta like upload it though. I'll probably take some melatonin, it'll be fine. Okay. Oh yeah. Friends' nicknames. My friends' names are Bicycle, Parkour, Rowdy, Computer Science, Leper, Pouty, Penguin, Noir, Bones, Ink, and Beer. Those are all my friends, guys. That's who you'll be seeing in the Chronicle. The thing is, Rowdy and Pouty, I know they don't watch the Chronicle, so I could just use Pouty. I could use the nickname Pouty for Pouty until she sees the Chronicle, which could be never. And then she'll be like, "Oh, I don't like that." I could just like ask her personally, but I really like the duo nickname of Rowdy and Pouty because they're siblings. Um, and then Leper. I'm sure Leper probably hates his nickname. He's either gonna hate it or he's gonna think it's really funny. Um, yeah, but I wonder if he hates it. I don't think he cares enough to actually tell me about it. Even if he does hate it, I might not change it because that would be even funnier. I don't know. I'll think about it. If he does text me and say, "Hey, don't call me that," like I said, it'd be really funny to flip him the bird and call him Leper anyway. Otherwise, his name would be Yapper, probably, because that boy talks more than anyone I've met in my entire life. And that's probably what I like most about him. And I think that's everything. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all later. Bye.